I came across this outreach method while trying to figure out a way to be lazy and still book tons of calls, and the result was insane. I literally built my copywriting career off of this very outreach method that I'll show you. CC, did you like my hook? Was it good? Right, free to go. I won't pay you any commission. Anyway, this is the most personalized yet most automated outreach method that I've ever personally seen. Ever might be an exaggeration. I don't know what else is out there, but it's damn good and it almost takes zero time. Now, before I get into it, I want to show you exactly why it's so good and why it beats DMs and cold outreach in general. So, with cold email and DMs, what is the problem? Cold email / DMs. It's spammy. Right? It's just so spammy. They get so many DMs. If you actually see what the requests of a online coach look like, they have more than if they have more than like 10,000 followers, it's just a sea of people, and it is so difficult to stand out, right? Even if you send voice notes, everyone already sent voice notes. There's so many things that are oversaturated, and they just do not work, especially in the clogged inbox, because they don't just have copywriters, have growth operators, salespeople, setters. It is a fucking nightmare to compete in that, right? Then in cold email, they also get thousands of those, right? And how people usually do cold email is that they get a bunch of just bad leads. Like they get 1,000 or 10,000 bad leads, and you spam blast all of them, and it's just shit. Like nobody even opens them. And if they open them, they can see right through them. Now, even if in cold email, you're like, oh, but I will use the variable personalization. I will give them a personalized compliment. Okay, good for you. So do so many other people. And you know who can make personalized compliments now? AI can do that as well. So people know that, especially decision makers, especially people that have built a business, they know this inside and out. They have gotten spammed so much. So you have to think, how can I prove I'm human, first of all, in this fucking 2026? And how can I make something so wow that they just have to reply? And this is where this method comes in. Now, the problem with the original method is that it takes so long. Let me explain why. That's why I improved on it. So, some months ago, actually more than a year ago now, I found this method from this guy. And it uses Loom videos, and it was so good. And I'll explain exactly how to make it good. But it would take so much effort, so much time, so I distilled it, I automated it using AI. Nobody guesses it, by the way, and you'll see exactly why. And it works like a charm. So what are we doing here? Actually, why does it work? First of all, it's a Loom video. It's a Loom video and highly entertaining cold email. Why the highly entertaining cold email? Because that compels people to open it. So when you style your cold email and you make it sound totally different than anything they've ever seen, by starting with greetings, for example, using some funny language, they will click on that Loom video. You'll get very high click-through rates. And also explain how to make this Loom video. But first of all, why is it so good? First of all, it has a wow effect. Shows you human, as I've already said. And what else do we have here? Right. Vibe. It has a fantastic vibe because it positions you as someone who really knows what they're talking about. I mean, you're looking at me here on camera and you know what I'm talking about because I can sound confident, I look confident, and the things I speak about are just plainly true. And you can get that effect when you film Looms for people. But when you're in their DMs being like, hey, are you doing anything with email? Or, hey man, your funnel is shit. Or you just message them like, hey, I saw your name in the Epstein files, haha, now that I got your attention. You sound like an idiot. Like honestly, no one wants that, okay? But when you show up on camera, when you have a good setup, when you have a good tonality, people will notice you and they will reply, and I'll show you exactly how to go about the setup a bit later. So what does this loom even look like, first of all? Let me write that down. Basically, it's a 6-minute loom. What fucking accent is that even? It's a 6-minute loom, but we make it in around 2 minutes. And no one can tell you cheated, and that is why it is just such a good method. But first of all, what do we even offer with this loom video? You have to think, what do they want? And I'm about to give you insane sauce right now. What do they really want? What do they really want is a question that really depends on your target audience. But if you're watching me, I guess you're in info. I'm guessing you're in info. I'll use info as an example, and I'll use coaches, okay? Because I usually reach out to coaches. But if you're an e-commerce copywriter, a SaaS copywriter, just read between the lines and apply it to your own industry, right? But with coaches, they don't give a fuck about email. That is what I understood. That doesn't mean they don't need email. It doesn't mean they won't appreciate it once they have it, but it's not something that catches their attention. I saw this video from this guy named Tom Stoic like a few months ago, no, a year and a half ago or something, and he said, try and write long captions for people. And I was like, you know what, this guy tends to be right. I like what this guy talks about in this video. Let me just try it. Lo and behold, it worked. Because it really catches the coach's attention. What do they want? They want to grow on social media. They're desperate to grow on social media. They don't have the awareness that their email list is often way more powerful than their fucking social media. They're obsessed with it, right? So you get through the door with content as well in the Loom video, and then you pitch them on content and emails. And right now, if you're thinking, oh, but I don't want to do content, trust me, you do. It's still writing copy. Like, don't be afraid of it. It's still writing copy. It's easy because you can just steal hooks, steal formats, and just steal entire scripts even, but just adapt it for your client. Get them millions of views like I have. Flex on everyone like I have, you know, and get them a bunch of results. And get more clients. And get paid more because you're doing more work for them. And be more entrenched in the business because you're doing more work for them. And retain them for longer. So it's just a perfect combination. So you ask yourself, what do they really want? And you make your loom, at least that's what I did. You don't have to copy me, but you probably want to copy me. But loom is about captions, content and emails, right? That's what this Loom video is about. If you just make it about emails, I've tried and I've noticed that people do not give a fuck about email. It's just not a sexy topic, email. Seriously, I mean, when I meet random people on the street, like people from my childhood or like someone's mom, and they ask me, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, yeah, I dropped out of university. Oh, really? Strange, but what do? I do email marketing. They're like, what the fuck? You're strange. And okay, coaches understand a bit more, but it's just an unsexy topic. Whereas captions and content is a very hot topic, and it catches attention. So, how do you start it? How do you start your Loom? You personalize it. Introduce yourself. You pick a niche. You introduce yourself and you tell them, and I help fitness coaches just like yourself. And then you insert an outcome, okay? You get their attention. And what you do then, and this has to be personalized, right? You go to their Instagram, you go to their website, or whatever you chose to do, and you talk about it. You say, this doesn't work. This is what it leads to, and you should do this, and this is what it will lead to. So, let me write that. I write it down. Doesn't work. Pain. Do this. Woo! Woo means dream outcome, pretty much. So, you really want to get it personalized. The first part of the video, you're talking about them because they really want to feel, they really need to feel like you're making them just for them. Because you have to get that wow effect. If you just automate it from the beginning and you send the same loom to everyone in a Figma board, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because people are smart. Don't take people for idiots. Take people for smart idiots. That's what I did, and it worked really, really well, okay? Because, okay, you can say, I'm smarter than them, I'll make them not figure it out. Yes, you can. They won't figure out, but treat them like they're smart and say, okay, I really have to personalize it in an automated way because they're smart, all right? And how do you do that? So the first part, the start, is personalized with a D. It's personalized. So saying their name all the time, you are scrolling to their website, you're literally reading their lines and saying what they could improve on, and then you switch to in the middle, you switch to a Figma or Miro board / whatever the fuck you want to use. I like Figma. Other people like Miro, whatever. And why are we doing this? Because Loom has audio variables. That's right, it has audio variables. And that's what you can do. You simply switch the name for your prospect. So let's say you have a list of James, Mary, and Joseph. Why did I use Mary and Joseph? What the fuck? Whatever. And you simply put those names in Loom, and they will take your Figma video where you're saying John, for example, and it will autofill instead of John, it will say their names. So they will still think you're talking about them. Why? Because in the start you were so fucking personalized, you switched them to a Figma board where you're just presenting something, and that is it. They are 100% certain this is totally personalized for them. But what you're actually doing is only personalize the first 2 minutes while you're taking 4 minutes or 5 minutes and you're automating that. And that's why this method is so fucking good. But now, in this Figma, you have to give source. And there is so much about it that I just cannot fit in this video. There are so many nuances. If you want to see how I do it, you have to opt in into an email list and then check out my paid product. Now, because I only promote it in my email list, you can't get it here. But I will tease you with the email list a little bit. First of all, I have the coolest welcome sequence that you've ever seen, probably. It's not the only one in the world. I did not invent it, but I did it so well. It'll have you reading for like, I don't know what the fuck happened with my tongue there, but too excited about the welcome sequence. It'll have you reading for like 30 minutes. How can a welcome sequence do that? Check it out. And by the way, I also give you a anti-beginner copywriting guide, email copywriting guide, where you'll learn how to make emails that people love to read and the clients love to pay for, okay? You immediately join the ranks of top copywriters, because even if you do this outreach and you get yourself some clients and you're not a fantastic copywriter, you will not retain them for longer than a month, you won't have the confidence to close them well, and you will never build a sustainable business. Back to this shit. In the middle of the Loom, there is so much you have to do. And I usually like to focus on captions and the benefits of the captions, what that can do for them, tell them what works in their content, how they can find the best hooks, how they can improve their retention graph, all of these things. And then I switch onto emails to show how we can cash in on all of the traffic that we generate here. Again, you have to be hella knowledgeable about email to make this sound good and sexy, because no one cares about email. And you can find out how to do that if you opt into my email list. A, because you'll see how I do it, because you'll get the guide. Now, we get to the end of it. We're getting to the end of the Loom. What do you do there? What do you do? What do you do there? You give a CTA, obviously. Okay? You give a CTA. But this CTA needs to be so compelling. It needs to be so attractive that you would feel absolutely asinine saying no or just not replying. Sometimes you will get people telling you to fuck off, obviously. But most of the time, you will actually get people thanking you for their outreach if you do this well, taking you up on your offer, and you will not have to deliver on jack shit. So this is how you do it. You give them a CVA, compelling and irresistible. That's compelling and irresistible. Basically, you tell them that you'll give them all of this for free, a free sample. Like, hey, I'll actually give you some of these captions and emails for free, and you tie it to an actual outcome, right? You don't just say you'll get emails and captions, but you tie it to an outcome, tangible outcome, all right? This all depends on what you say in your video. That's why I'm not saying anything here. So they see this. You were very personalized at the beginning, made them feel very, very special. You gave them insane sauce here. Then you told them, hey, I'll just do this for you for free. All you gotta fucking do is reply. Obviously they will reply. Okay, obviously they're gonna reply. And once they reply, you'll get a few variants. And I'll show you how to turn that into a call. Get a few variants. And all you have to do when they reply is get them on a call. And they will be yours. Use this method ethically. Just had a petting the dog break a little bit. So, setting. This is very easy. You'll get a few replies. When can we call? I don't think I need to tell you how to handle this. How much? How much is it? Bro, I just told you it's free. That's not a reply, by the way. Don't take me seriously on that one. How much is it? Sure. Not to tell. Fuck. Sure. Send over the stuff, or you'll get not looking. You'll get the classic situationship reply, I'm not looking for anything right now. What do I think of this? Who hurt me? Who hurt me, bro? So, how do we handle each one of these? When can we call? You simply send them the calendar link. Now this will happen more than you think, more than you're used to, okay? Because people are genuinely impressed, especially when you can really have amazing camera presence and when you seem like you know what you're talking about and when you give actually good sauce and you use a fantastic structure. This will happen a lot. So you just give them a calendar link, right? Now for how much is it, you're obviously not gonna say what you charge, okay? Because people understand. People do understand that this is a business model, that you're not just running a charity, right? There's a reason I want to send you free stuff. Obviously, I want you to pay me and I want to help you. So people will sometimes jump the gun and say, how much is it? To which you're going to say that you just don't know. You can't really say how much is it because you don't know exactly what they need. And then you need to get on a call to find out. Easy as that. You always want to be vague. You never want to give anything concrete, and you always want to suggest the next step, which is getting on the call. Now, you'll have some people say, sure, send over the stuff. In which moments, he'll be like, oh shit, now I actually need to do the work for someone who might just ghost me. No, you won't do the work. I forbid you from doing the work right here. A, not needed. That was just a bait to get them to reply. B, you cannot genuinely do good work without talking to them. How the fuck am I gonna write amazing emails, right? I pride myself on the emails I write. They are amazing. Every email I write for a client is genuinely so good. Can I do that for someone that I've never spoken to? No, I can't. Without knowing their audience, without knowing their products, no, I can't. Without knowing their stories, personalities, absolutely no. So what you're gonna say to this actually is not even bullshitting. You'll say, oh, okay, great. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions just so I can tailor it to you? Boom. They're saying, yeah, ask me a few questions, no worries. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, let's get on a call. You send the calendar link and you book that shit. All right. So when someone says, "Send me over the stuff," you ask them you ask them if you can ask them a few questions. They say yes, and then you ask them again if they want to get on a call with that. They say yes, and you do this. Then you'll have the situationship, which says, "I'm not looking for anything right now." Now this is not girl advice or boy advice. This is Loom advice. So how do you respond to this? Is you say, "Oh, fine. If you're not looking for anything, that's totally fine. You know, just let's just hop on a call and I'll point you in the right direction, show you a few things, so that maybe later down the line we can talk again. I'd love to help you out actually." You'd be surprised that people will be like, "Oh my god, that's so nice, yeah, sure." Not knowing that you're literally being behind the keyboard, scheming and plotting, being like, "Ha ha ha, I will fuck this person over." And it works. Why? Because if you've ever had a situation to tell you, "I'm not looking for anything right now," and you're like, okay, then 3 days later they're in a fucking relationship. Shit happens, okay? That happens. So even if people tell you, "I'm not looking for anything right now," that doesn't mean that they cannot be convinced. That doesn't mean that if something attractive enough walks by that they're not gonna cave. So when you present someone, especially when you present someone with an irresistible offer and you tell them that, "Look man, it'll either get you money or you'll get your money back," these people convert as well. So here you're Messiah offering something for free. Here you're bullshitting, telling them that you need more info. Here you're again being vague and telling them that you just cannot know. I mean, I cannot know. I don't know exactly what you need, although you sell the same thing to everyone. No, but genuinely you might not. Someone might need more emails, fewer emails, more content, less content. That's also not bullshitting. And when can we call? You just tell them. Send them that link. Dog break. And a little bit of a whiteboard break. So now that we've done the setting, I want to discuss the tonality. The tonality. And before I discuss the tonality, I want to discuss the prospect of you opting into my email list, going through the most fun, new and exciting sort of welcome sequence you've ever seen, and get an amazing, amazing freebie on the way. First link in the description. Setup. Insanely important. Setup is so important. So if you'll give me just a second, just give me 1 second, I want to show you the type of mic I use. So when I pull up on the Loom with this thing on, how do I look? Do I look like a noob? No. Okay, maybe if you don't see the cables. It looks like I know what I'm doing. Why would I have such a microphone if I'm not like a renowned agency owner, you know? Or my camera is good, right? I have a MacBook, so obviously the camera is good on it. And the thing is, you really want to look like you know what you're doing. Don't worry, I'll come back. I know you're missing me, but I'm coming back. I'm back. You always have to look like you know what you're doing. So clean up your background. You want a good background. Obviously, you really don't have to invest in, I don't know how many lights and shit like that. Just get a plant. Plants are insanely cool. You have a good background. You have good lighting. Because this doesn't work if you look like a noob. Good lighting, and then you want great audio. I cannot emphasize how important audio is. Not just because the mic looks good, but because when it sounds good and crispy and sexy, you instantly get so many authority points. And with your tonality and with your setup, all of the time you want to think how to get authority points, So when I'm filming those videos, it's a bit different than when I'm filming these videos. Because with them, I'm trying to be very, very authoritative all of the time. Here, I'm cracking up jokes, I'm swearing, I don't care, right? Because I want a personal connection with you. With them, I just want to be authoritative and I want to be the answer to their problems. All of them want to grow their social media, all of them want to grow their business. But just no one can do this for them. Everybody sucks, you have to understand this. All of the copywriters suck. Most of the copywriters absolutely suck. most of the growth operators, sellers, people just are so bad, but are constantly in their DMs, so they're always fighting the battle. They're always fighting the battle of finding someone good, because they're entrepreneurs as well, right? They want to hire you. Understand, get this through your brain. They want to hire people. They want to delegate. They want to sunbathe in Thailand or Bali or whatever without having anything to do. They want to do all of these things. So get a good background, get a good lighting, and have great audio, and think about being authoritative. Now, with tonality, why you want to have with tonality is I'm by no means a vocal anything, and I'm not that amazing at it myself. However, I've landed multiple clients with this method, so I guess I can speak on it a little bit. You want color. With your tonality on these videos, you want color. And that's the most important thing, because color hooks people. Not just hooks people, but retains people, that's the thing. So sometimes I'm speaking louder, okay? Sometimes I'm speaking louder, sometimes I'm speaking faster, but when I really, really want to emphasize a point, I might go softer and I might go slower, all right? That's what you have to do. So sometimes we're loud, sometimes we're doing something really fast. For example, when you're going over something technical, you may speak a little bit faster and a little bit louder, a little bit faster, just to make them understand how much they don't know about the subject and about the topic and how knowledgeable you are about it, right? Just like me, I just turned into rap god and you're thinking, whoa, he knows what he's talking about. And when you want to make a very important point, such as deliver an outcome or give client results, such as in just 4 days, I made this client 23.7K with just one launch. You can do it way softer and way slower to really emphasize the point. That's how far I'm gonna go with tonality, because again, I'm not like the best guy to ask about. And work on your accent, man. Okay, I know you're not gonna love this, but if you're from a third world country or any world country that isn't like Britain, America, you have to work on your accent. I am Croatian. Have you heard Croatians speak English? We talk like Russians usually, right? But if I pull up on that Loom video and I'm a fucking Russian, nobody wants to speak to me further. No one wants to even watch that video. The only reason I've had success with it is because I can fake an American accent. And since the video is 2 minutes long, you have no excuse not to fake an accent. I mean fake. It's just what it is. If you speak good English, I guess that is faking, but it's not really faking. Here, sometimes the accent just comes out, right? Sometimes you can tell I'm not a native speaker. Why? Well, because I'm speaking for like half an hour. But when I'm speaking for 2 minutes, I am not making any mistakes. I do not have one extra pause that wasn't supposed to be there. You don't hear me speaking like this, so please, don't try this. Maybe I should have said this at the beginning, but don't even try this if your accent is completely broken. But if you can if you can fake a good accent for 2 minutes, if you're down to do many repetitions, if you're down to do a lot of looms, if you can figure out a way, or if you learn from me, if you can figure it out, if you can figure out the nuances, learn the nuances from me, then this could very well be the best outreach method you've ever seen, and it could be the outreach method that builds your copywriting career just like it built my career. Alright? I'm very happy that I shared this with you, and go and implement it now. Try and do this. Opt in into my email list, first link in the description, and have an amazing day.